Okay guys, so in this video, I'm going to be making a car again, and you're like, dude, you've made cars like 1,000 times. But no, that's not what we're going to be quite doing. We're going to be making a race car, and like a nice one, like the old Roblox race car, and we're going to try making like 3 different types of them. And I feel like there's at least 3 different types of race cars, and after that, everything's just the same thing over and over again. So we're going to try and make the body first. And you're going to really have to follow along with me. I hope you know how to use F3X, because in this video I probably won't be able to explain always, but I still will do that thing where I sort of say how to do stuff every once in a while. So the first step is to sort of build the base of your body. So we'll add a block in, and we'll lift it up. And we'll sort of stretch it out, you know, like when you stretch out your gum to play with it. And then, now you have your body here, right? Just a simple block. And now, we aren't going to color it yet, we're just going to try and design our car body. Make sure you set your increment in both the move tool and the size tool to 0.0001. 4 zeros technically with a point in between them. See right here. I'll show you and make sure my camera is picking it up. Now, what we want to do is we're going to flatten out the base of the body, right? And we're going to just sort of scale it down a little bit. Make it feel a little bit more proportional to our Roblox character. Now that this is done, we're going to just put in fake seats, not real seats. So we're going to add another block so that we know where the real seats are going to go when we're done. Right? I'm going to make a race car that sort of has a longer front here. And maybe instead of having 2 seats, I'm going to try for 1 seat, even though from my personal point of view, that feels a little bit weird to not have 2 seats in the car. I don't know why, it just does. And I'm going to sort of push the seat back a little bit more, because that's just how it sort of universally feels like it should be like this. I don't know why, but it just does with 1 seat. And then we're going to copy the base of the car and just sort of try and build this back of the body, right, like this. And it might not turn out too cool, because this is the first time I've ever built a race car. As I said in the last video, I sort of try and do everything in one take. So, this is some, original stuff. So, it's not going to be a piece of art. And, yeah. So we're going to slowly build the body of the car here. Trying to slowly slim down the car, maybe even split up the bottom here. So I'm in my resize tool, and I just set the resize tool to both, so then I could shrink it again like this. And then I'm going to copy one of these 2 pieces here, like this. And I'm actually going to try and make it shaped like a roller skate. If you've ever seen old roller skates, modern roller skates do not look like this, but actually a lot of old race cars from maybe the late 1890s, early 1920s look like this, like a roller skate, like an old roller skate. If you Google old roller skates, it will show up. And as we sort of reshape it, it sort of takes on a steam engine shape. And I gotta make sure that this is even. As you can see, from our human eye, it does not look like it's perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and correct that. And now you can see, it sort of looks like it's folding in. And we're gonna start to sort of get a chitty chitty bang bang shape. I already can tell based on this. And I don't want that. I want sort of like a round, sort of soft, undescribable bird-like shape. So I'm gonna just keep building here along. And we're going to start to work into our Chitty Chitty Bang Bang shape, right? If you ever seen the movie Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, it's like about a guy who builds a car in his garage, who's a candy maker. I don't really know why, but that's what happens. And we're going to resize the bottom of the car. Actually, we might not. We might just keep it like this for the moment, because I feel like something nice is going to happen. So I'm going to copy the front like this, and just sort of work with the shape of the car, right? And have it sort of like this, because it sort of feels stylish. I don't know why it feels stylish. Maybe extend this? I don't know. And then you have this big hang, like that. It's a little bit less of a race car than it is sort of heavy, but it also sort of feels nice for some reason. And then we can sort of lift up the back, right? Like this. And then this is a fake seat, so you don't really get the real feeling of it. But we're going to get rid of our fake seat now and add a real seat, so we can start to have that feeling of the car. And this is sort of what it's going to feel like. But we want to sort of hide this front part because it's where the motor would technically be. And it just sort of doesn't feel the right size. So maybe we could try going farther up. I don't know, I'm going to leave it the size it is just for the sake of things right now. And then I'm going to add a front piece like this. You can see you now sort of have the cabin where the driver will be sealed in. And I can add like a little dash because you'll be driving from here. I think I accidentally added a normal seat because I was so busy thinking about how I wanted the car to look. Make sure you add a vehicle seat. I'll do that here in 1 second. And I'll leave it like that. Much like in train engine, I'll leave the back of the car open. And then I'm going to go ahead and go in here and just go ahead and seal the front of the car up like this by rotating this stuff. You can set your rotation to 0.0001 as well, which will make a nice smooth rotation. And you'll start to get this nice curve like this. Now it's not a epic curve, but it's still like an arch shape. And as you can see, my car was slightly uneven, so one side is a little wacky. So I'm going to attempt to correct that, and you get sort of this imperfect shape. And then I'm going to put a front plate on my car by copying all this stuff once and squishing it forwards and pushing it in like this, which seals off the front of the car. Now I have to tend to this part, so if I want this part to curve like the rest of the car, I have to make it custom. It might not make the shape we want it to make here, so it's the first time I've ever done sort of a weird angle curve. Nope, looks like it's going to make the shape, which is pretty impressive. And then we'll do the same thing we did on the front to right here. Oh wow, there was a space. And now I just fix this space here. Now you sort of have the shape of the car. Now as the driver, you can clearly see how you're not going to be able to see over that part of the car. So I'm going to add in something to lift this part of the car up a little bit, and then add some nice glass up there. And this will be a basic race car. Right, this will be the first try. Let's push sort of these basic components up a wee bit. That way we can see over that. And then to simplify things, let's copy this. Get that like that. It feels pretty okay. It looks a little clunky. And that's because the front of this isn't very proportional to the back of that. But it doesn't have to be perfect. Then what we have to do is, because this is the car body, this isn't actually the car, in theory. Then we just copy the bottom of the car and make the real car. So you go both, extend this a little bit, then we just add some wheels to this bottom thing and hook it all together. So now we're going to add some cylinders. Make sure I got a cylinder. Sometimes I accidentally add the triangle block that has a similar name, which is always really hilarious. I'm going to get, just for old time's sake, some bigger wheels instead of really tiny wheels, and add hinges to both sides. Right. Go ahead and rotate the wheel around. Oop. make sure you set your rotation back to 15, because that makes a nearly perfect rotation. Even though in Roblox, the near perfect rotation is slightly imperfect. So, sometimes that can cause a problem. But for the most part, when you push the wheel onto the base of the car, it auto-corrects the near imperfect rotation. So, that's pretty nice. And then we just copy our wheels over and stick it on. Remember, like what I showed in a previous video, you gotta make sure your wheels are perfectly on there. See that gap? You can't have no gaps. Otherwise, the wheels are just gonna fall on off. Okay, so it's ready. The only problem is that this bottom piece is a little bit too small, looks like, but I'm gonna still try it anyways, because it might still work. Gonna make a copy of it. Gonna grab everything, stick it in like this. Then I'm gonna add a seat, a vehicle seat. So you add your vehicle seat, rotate it. It's probably the wrong way. Yep. Rotate it around again. It's almost ready. Gotta scooch in my vehicle seat, lift it up. And now I can see it off the front of my car, which looks oddly like a steam engine. Make a copy of my nearly finished car, set it on the ground, select everything, deselect the wheels, so you aren't welding the wheels to the car, because remember, if you weld the wheels to the car, they won't spin. Then unanchor the car body, then unanchor the wheels. And now, we have apparently a non-working car. Wow. I'll be darned. Wonder why. Oh, nope, there we go. Just was bugging out. So as you can see, my car works. It's very beautiful, other than the fact that it's malfunctioning. And the reason it's malfunctioning is because these wheels are pushing against the car body, which is preventing them from rotating properly. So that's a pretty easy fix, and I also want to make my wheels bigger, so I'll show you guys how to do that. The first step is to make this base block bigger, like this. We'll remove the tires. Don't delete this side's tires, just pull them away. Click on the bottom, use the both tool, extend this off like that, and then just go ahead and reattach the tires. And now, you gotta check for those old-fashioned imperfections, because remember, it's gotta be perfect if you want it to work. There we go. And now I'm gonna make my wheels bigger, because I think it not only looks funny, but it's also fun to drive around in. And I'm also going to try and make them slimmer, but I don't think I can right now. And I'm just going to weld the car on like this, like a big steam engine, because of course it's going to be hilarious. I might even add real quickly a steam smokestack. Actually, I am going to add a smokestack. I know it started out as me making a race car, but, you know, this is just funnier, and also more enjoyable for me. So now we got my steam car. Let's make it epic and give it like 12 steam things. It's just something about this that's perfect. There we go. So there's our steam car. Get rid of this thing. Copy our working version, because this one should work way better. Remember to weld the car body to the car body. Don't weld the wheels to the car body, because the wheels automatically connect themselves. And then unanchor everything. Bam. Now we have our steam car. Beautiful. Look at its awesomeness. Now, sadly, there's really no way in Roblox to make your cars go faster unless you go into Roblox Studio and edit the script inside the vehicle seat. You can Google and find a video on that, Or maybe at some point I can make a video on that. And another way you can make vehicle seats go faster, if you aren't in your own F3X game, only if you aren't in your own F3X game or your own Roblox game, is if you're here on Whimsical Building, which is the building game I use, they have this little configure tool. I think it might be this, yeah. And you can click on the vehicle seat, and you can tell its properties to go faster or slower. As you can see, they have torque, they have max speed, and turn speed. Turn speed is how fast it turns. It's in its name. Max speed is how fast this thing can go at its fastest, which is not very easy to explain because the only word we have to explain fast is fast. And torque, which is like its amount of push or speeding, how fast it gets fast. See? Brand new discovery. We need to invent a new word for fast. Okay, that's the end of this video. I'm going to drive this around just for fun. Goodbye.